Hello, I'm Wafflestick, and today we're going to be doing episode 1 of my new survival series here on YouTube, which is something I haven't done in quite some time. Definitely want to get back into it, but man, am I glad, because we are in 1.11 and I definitely would like to check out some of the new features and how things operate. Maybe luckily we could find a mansion somewhere. Unfortunately, nowhere close to spawn it seems, but definitely we'll find something. Of course, we couldn't take on a mansion on our first day anyway, unless we were pretty brave and lucky. But yeah, hope you guys do enjoy this series. And also, I'd like to mention this is going to be more of a progression series and cuts. There's going to be a lot of cuts, so definitely look for those. Unfortunately, I do not play just straight through and record it. I think that's quite boring, and I like to enjoy the game in between those cuts. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's go ahead and get the essentials, and I'll catch you guys back here in just a moment. Okay, now that we're all prepared and all good to go, I do have some supplies over there, my furnace, chest, crafting table, and a sleeping chamber. So we should have something to work with, as long as we're still alive and there's no zombies cornering us. So let's go ahead and start with this first episode. What I want to do is make a small hermit hut, just to kind of put everything away and, you know, have a little project to do for episode 1. Because I would go searching for a beautiful place, but it seems this is a very beautiful place. I want to use this first as spawning point because this whole valley looks absolutely beautiful. And the spruce forest over here, the grass, it couldn't give more meaning to grass is greener on the other side. It's pretty crazy how that worked out. But I just absolutely love the natural terrain in this area. So I think what I'm going to do is build a home. Just a starter base, something temporary. That way I'll have somewhere to live. For our first temporary home, I think we're going to use this space right here, utilize this space because we do have a very beautiful view here in the front. And it'd be nice to just kind of step out and see it. Now, I think what I'm going to do is start out with lining out what I would like and the size to be. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. That way we can kind of keep everything on track. The only thing is we got to terraform this just a little bit just to make it look a little bit nicer. There we go. Just something a little bit less on the edge because I don't know, I just think it looks kind of cheesy when you have your house on the edge of things, unless it's integrated to so, but I think that'll do quite fine. Now there's also a frame that's going to be on the outside here, so it may be a little bit awkward, but we'll see what we can do with it. And it looks like I need to fill in this just a little bit, and I think we should be pretty close to where we need to be. So this is a rough idea of how big I want my house to be as far as the inner wall, but there will be an outer wall as well because we'll be putting frames out here. And I think I'm going to use spruce wood for that. I like spruce wood. I think that's very appropriate for a starter home since we do have a lot of it here in abundance. And then also there's some other oak planks and stuff on the other side. I see some snow areas. I'll have to take a look around, but I'm going to gather some materials and I'll catch you guys back here in just a bit. When the sun's setting, I should probably go sleep. After journeying through the woods a bit and getting all the essential materials to build this house, I seemed to stumble on a massive load of eggs. Somehow I found a herd of chickens that laid 15 eggs just kind of sporadically laid on the ground. It's crazy. I don't think I've ever ran into that this early in Minecraft, which is pretty awesome. I think it's just a big spawn group and I got lucky there. But let's go ahead and get started with work on this house here. Now the way I want to do this is use spruce planks for the frame here. We'll go ahead and take those out and I'll put those up. Probably go about 3 up. I don't want to go too crazy with this house, but I definitely want it to have a little bit of space. I think what I want to do is kind of stick with this design, just having the frame on the outside here, because a lot of people just do the single block on the outside or the inside right here, and it just doesn't look that great to me. I know that's kind of mean, but you know, that's just the way it is. I personally prefer this way of building because you can do a lot of hidden stuff if you wanted to, and it just makes things look much cleaner and a little bit different from what people are doing. So definitely this is a good start. And yeah, we do have like the corner here, which gives it a little bit of depth, but I still have yet to decide what wall should I use. What kind of wall should I use for the inner parts here, which is going to be where these grass blocks are. They're going to line up with walls, and personally I don't know how I'm going to integrate that or the glass. It looks like I have some thinking to do. So after just a little bit of planning, I have decided that maybe we should go with the stone brick approach for the walls because nothing else is really kind of working for me. I'm having a difficult time with it. It seems like I don't want everything to be wood. I want there to be a little bit more of a foundation of the house, just the way it looks a little bit more realistic. And before we do jump further into this, I definitely would like to place another wooden column on the side, not to only give it some support, but there is a special reason for doing this. I have something going on over here. I want to put some chests over here, and I want it to kind of blend into the wall and still look normal from the outside of the house, which I think would look pretty cool. And let's go ahead and knock this one out. I think, will I have just enough? Will I have to go get some more spruce wood? Looks like I just ran out of spruce wood there. That's unfortunate. But we'll get that in here in just a moment. But that's kind of my plan so far. And there is quite a bit going on with the good old spruce wood, which is a little bit disappointing because, it's a little bit too much, the logs are. But maybe if I did counteract that with a window in the back, it'd look a little bit better. And I obviously have some depth filling to go on the outside once I do put the inner wall in. But the inner wall most definitely will be some stone. Let's go ahead and take a look at this if I can remember how to do so. Yeah, that's stone bricks. Took me a moment. I haven't made stone bricks in quite some time. So let's take a look here and get a feel of what it's going to look like. Looks like we'll need a little bit more than that just to get things started here. Okay, 8, and let's go ahead and line it right here. That way I can look at it from the outside here. So let's go ahead and stack those there. I think that's about 2 there. Just kind of pre-planning so I don't have to waste any blocks or break more of them down, which I have to get this one. But let's go ahead and go out here and take a look and just kind of get a grasp. Yeah, that actually looks okay. I think that's going to look fine. It's going to look more stony. It's going to kind of counteract the mini logs that are on the outside for the support. But I also am planning to put some stairs on the outside, then possibly some windows on top, and maybe with these as well, you know, depending on how that goes with the chests and all and how that lines up, which I think it'll look fine. It's just a lot of pre-planning to go through. And for the roof, I'm still debating on that. That's something I'm definitely still debating on. I'm thinking possibly birch, but I don't know yet. That's something I'm going to have to work on and see what it feels like. But yeah, let me go ahead and do some more brainstorming and try to come up with something while these things are heating up in the furnaces. It is currently the next day, and as you can see, my starter home has come a long way. It's personally coming together quite well. I'm still having thoughts on the brick. The brick looks okay. The only thing about it is it doesn't go too well with other blocks. It doesn't play nicely. But definitely I need to take these down because I just noticed that I had those corners filled in. Let me go ahead and take those down just to give it a little bit more depth in the back. Of course, I won't be back here much, but when I am back here, this is going to drive me crazy if I don't do this now. Okay, much better. A little bit more depth to the house itself. But the really big part I'm going to do for the rest of this episode, which I'm going to try to use up as little time as possible to do this, I want to make a ceiling. And a ceiling would be really awesome. I'd say something unique, kind of like a slant, is what I want to go for. It depends. I'll have to work around with it and see what it looks like. But as far as my house right now, I have my storage system right here. I've got to get some trip hooks here to put trap chests and also some furnaces with my crafting table down the bottom and a line of stone stairs, which I'm still contemplating on. Down here we have my basement, which I'm personally enjoying quite a bit. I was going to put a couple of stone slabs right here and then right here, but it blocks my chest, so I cannot put my item frames on there. So yeah, I've got to finish that up. I gotta get some trip hooks, and then also down here, this is going to be another episode, which I'm looking forward to. But it may be just a little while before I get to this. It's a secret, and it goes to a cool place that I'm really excited about building on. But yeah, I think what we need to do is go ahead and get popping with these resources and get popping on this roof. But it's not really working in my favor. I think it looks okay, it just needs a separation of some sorts. And I cannot figure for the life of me what would make that a little bit less bland. Should I put some blocks there? There's going to be a lot of configuring. And It looks like the best way to maybe handle this is just having this out, maybe possibly one more. Would that help with the depth of it? Okay, it's looking a little bit better. Not much, but just a little bit better. Okay, yeah, it's kind of coming together now. I don't know, the roof is just, it feels too big to me on that side. I mean, I want to keep it kind of big. Not that big. I've got to redo this, I think. After tearing that down and looking at my house, I'm thinking I'm pretty satisfied with what this looks like. It took me some time to configure this, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I like the skylight in the middle there, and also the stone slabs maybe look a little bit close, or I mean further apart than what they should be, but I think once we do get these little walls in, it's going to look 10 times better. But before we do judge anything, let's go up here on this hill and see if we can get a better view of it, because I'm pretty excited to see what it'd look like from a distance. Yeah, that looks pretty good. The only thing is, the glass looks kind of odd, to me anyway. Let me work on this a little bit and see if I can get it to look a little bit better. Come to think of it, I think it was a depth issue. Once I did get these blocks in, this looks a little bit better. Yeah, that's personally looking a lot better from what I'm seeing. I'm liking the way it looks. Let's go ahead and dance up here and see if we can take a look. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I personally like how that came together. I was thinking maybe we could do some blocks over the glass, but I do want to look straight up in the air. So probably not. I think I'm just going to leave it just the way it is because it's come out pretty good. Only thing we got to do now is fill in these walls right here at the top, and I'm going to figure out a solution for that doesn't make it look too overly gray. And to break up the design a little bit, I think the cobblestone works quite well with the accents up there, as well as the stone slabs underneath, and also the fence post. I think those look really well together. Now, the final part to this I think I'm going to be working on is implementing the stone stairs just to give it some more depth. And these windows look so good if you do use your stairs right here. I think that looks absolutely awesome. Only thing is, I'm hoping I have enough stairs to do this, because I don't know how much cobblestone I've got left. I've used quite a bit of cobblestone doing all this. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish this up. We'll take a look at it and then maybe possibly do some terraforming around the area just to make it look a little bit nicer. And we can kind of go from there. And with that, I think that's our completed home. I think it looks absolutely awesome. I really like the stairs, and it doesn't look like a normal house that you normally see. And it's really spacious inside. I guess where it drops down into the earth one layer of blocks, and then we also have our skylight, which I think looks pretty awesome. Our basement, it's all come together quite well, and I love this big window, especially putting these blocks on top. It really makes it look huge compared to when it didn't. Instead of putting the cobblestone up there, I thought, well, let's go ahead and go with a big like cathedral looking window, and it's came out quite lovely. I'm personally liking this area and this build. Yeah, it looks great. The only thing is the windows would have been nice here, but you know, you got to make sacrifices, especially if you put a bigger window in the background. It looks a lot better. But I think what I'm going to do now is work on some terraforming, and I think that'll be about it for the episode. But let me go ahead and get that kicking. I'd say that's a pretty good wrap up right there. We've got our starter home. Now, as you can see, the terraforming has just begun. I'm letting everything grow back. But I did put some patches down here with some gravel just to kind of make it look a little bit more rough and more texturized around my house, making it look like, hey, we travel a lot outside around our house. We go inside. I'm thinking about rearranging some of the stuff, so this next episode you may see some rearrangements. Personally, I think it's going quite well. Let's go down here and take a look at something. Okay, so definitely that doesn't show up. The crafting table doesn't show up. Oh, it does. It's just you cannot see it because, oh, okay. That's nifty how that worked out. But personally, I'm thinking everything looks pretty complete for episode 1, especially for a starter home. I'm thinking it came together quite well, especially, you know, the amount of thought and work I put into it. Definitely a lot of depth to it. The roof may look a little bit strange, maybe a little bit more foreign than what we're used to in Minecraft. Kind of looks like a Skyrim inspiration a little bit, the roof does. But I think that's going to be about it for this episode, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. I did have a good time building some of this stuff, and hopefully you'll stay with me during the series. Now, I don't have any predicted schedule or anything for the episode release, but I may do 1 or 2 episodes per week, just depending on how things go. Most definitely look for at least 1 episode a week. It's just I'm a very busy man, so... Anyway, guys, take care, and we'll see you in an episode later down the road. Have a fantastic day.